Hi folks. Would you believe me if I told you that protests have spread to over 2,000 cities and towns in all 50 states and all 5 permanently inhabited territories, as well as in over 60 other countries? Would you believe me if I told you there have been more than 14,000 arrests in 49 cities since the protests began? Would you believe me if I told you that since July 25th, 2020, 29 people have been killed, with some being innocent children, with one child sleeping in his bed? Well, it's all true. But you don't have to believe me. With a little research, you can find all that out yourself. So, how has everybody been doing? I hope you're all okay. I've been okay, laid off from work, which again is okay, I guess. Just like everyone else, I'm searching through the piles of stuff that gets thrown at us daily to see what's right with my soul and what isn't. What a challenge. But right here, right now, all is well. So I've written what I'm about to read to you, and before I read a quote, I'm actually just going to say the word quote. I will have the authors of the quote in the descriptions and also probably in the video itself at the end. So let's get into this, and let me start out with a wonderful quote. Give up defining yourself to yourself or to others. You won't die. You will come to life. And don't be concerned with how others define you. When they define you, they are limiting themselves, so it's their problem. Whenever you interact with people, don't be there primarily as a function or a role, but as the field of conscious presence. You can only lose something that you have, but you cannot lose something that you are. So I would like to talk about when and if there is a right time and way to talk about our differences. Can we overcome this horrible wave of hatred and find common ground? And can we as a collective humanity rise up to the Great Awakening and all the wonders of the Golden Age? Quote, is it possible that mankind is on the threshold of a Golden Age? But, if so, it will be necessary first to slay the dragon that guards the door, and this dragon is religion. And that couldn't be more true with what's going on right now in our world. So when and if there's a right time to talk about our differences, how do we do that? At the dinner table, at work, church, in a line at the store, yelling across the street to somebody? Well, that you'll have to be deciding at the time. But as we've seen, one wrong word can trigger people into a frenzy. And before you know it, we're punched, pushed, knocked to the ground. Then there's the people that will try to silence you on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or dox you and make your life a living hell. I'm sure we all know someone that has happened to. We are in unprecedented times where lawlessness is ignored. Innocent people are getting beat up and even killed for what they wear, say, or believe in. Hence, Operation Legend, started a little bit ago by Attorney General Barr. And if you don't know what that is, it's about a little boy named Legend who was killed by a stray bullet while he was sleeping in his warm, usually safe bed from a peaceful protester. Can you imagine the horror of that? I lived in and near Detroit for many years, so I've heard of innocent children and people being shot while in their beds or homes, and it's awful to hear something like that. But that is usually a rare revenge drive-by shooting or some other crazy reason. It should not happen by supposed peaceful protesters, and you don't have to be a parent to know how wrong that is. Anyway, blocks of stores and businesses are burned to the ground when they have nothing to do with the protests. All the hard work people have put into their lives and community only to have it destroyed by insanity, and it has nothing to do with the BLM movement, which, by the way, was started and funded by the Leftist Party, as well as the KKK, and which all the monies collected now and before for the BLM movement that people think is going somehow to help black folks actually goes to running political leftist races. So, it has nothing to do with the Black Lives Matter movement and everything to do with control of all our lives. Tell me, why is it these riots, protests, why are the white people on the front lines causing most of the trouble? Are they giving you more money in your paycheck? Are they making your daily life better, happier, safer? No. They are paid off thugs who answered an ad in the paper and are getting paid to mock the wonderful black folks of this country, destroy our history, destroy and burn down people's businesses who have put their heart and soul into them. And how is that helping anyone? Really? Alright, but I digress. Okay. First of all, be smart about where you go and who you speak to about current issues. Personally, I would not go to the so-called protests, especially at night. One of the smartest things my parents ever taught me was, don't put yourself in a position to be in the wrong place at the wrong time to begin with. So be careful. Second, and quite obviously, don't poke the bear. If someone is going off on something you disagree with, walk away. Don't engage with them. This is a perfect time to stay present and not feed into their energy. It's sad that we have to watch our words and behavior these days just so you don't get hurt, but we do. Quote, maturity is when you have the power to destroy someone who did you wrong, but instead you just breathe, turn, and walk away, and let karma deal with them. We are all, well, most of us, are intelligent, benevolent beings, which all have chosen to be here at this time on this planet, one of the most challenging times in history. How brave are we? So use common sense, one of our greatest gifts, when it comes to going places and talking to people and posting things nowadays. But by no means am I saying stay home and stay quiet. No, that's not me. Stand up and speak out for America, our wonderful country. But be kind. Everybody has to process things their own way. Hatred seems to be the theme of the mainstream media. And with that being said, how does one know what's right and what's wrong with the news media and other industries today? When 90% of the media, or actually maybe 95% of the media, have Trump derangement syndrome. They lie daily because they have to. They are bought and paid for by the cabal. Have you ever thought of it? They are bought and paid for by the cabal. Their hatred for us, for President Trump, is unimaginable. With evil like that, unfortunately, there is no common ground with them. But I cannot give up hope that there are still a ton of people that we can find common ground with. How did we get here? How did it happen that all the media outlets lie to us? Not just about President Trump, about everything, and it's been going on for years. Have you heard of Project Mockingbird? According to Wikipedia, it's an alleged large-scale program of the CIA, and that is the Central Intelligence Agency here in America. Wikipedia said Project Mockingbird is an alleged large-scale program of the CIA that began in the early years of the Cold War and attempted to manipulate news media for propaganda purposes. It funded student and cultural organizations and magazines as front organizations. So way back then, they started to manipulate what we saw, read, and learned in the newspapers, radios, magazines, movies, and our schools. So now we deal with the fake MSM. But more and more people are finding out just how fake they are. But why would we doubt what the news is telling us? They care about us, right? Isn't it the job of the mainstream media to tell us the truth and not be biased? And what about our TV and music industries? Well, they've all been bought and paid for long ago and are manipulated to control our minds as well. All of this can be found with research, all part of Project Mockingbird. How do you like being a test subject? So we have found, with repetition and of the same words, as well as frequency, you can control people. If you hear that there is a problem enough times, it must be true, right? But as most of us have learned, the MSM promotes hatred and gives coverage to looters, rioters, and Antifa thugs. People are afraid to speak up for fear of repercussions. The fact that there are no police to call for help in these cities is just a backup for the evil. If they do get caught, the evil goes through the revolving door of jail, as a bill was passed recently in some states that they can be let out with absolutely no bail money. And they're back in the streets in hours to hurt, rape, kill, loot, and burn things down again. Are you kidding me? Something is terribly wrong with that. We have witnessed horrible behavior of insane people in our streets running amok and no one to stop them. The states of the chaos are run by Democrats, and that is not a dig to them, that's the truth. So come on, what does that tell you? Why do the Dems not condemn the behavior of these lunatics ruining our cities, killing and hurting our citizens, burning down businesses, destroying our history, statues, etc.? Why do the mainstream media not report on these atrocities? Why do they tell you these are peaceful protests, when in reality every night more damage and harm is being done in cities across our wonderful country? Why? Because they want the control back. Common sense, and there's that word again, but common sense will tell us that they are furious with our president and his followers because he's building the wall on the southern border, which has virtually stopped human trafficking, drugs, and criminals coming into our country. That makes them mad. But you know what? That should make you mad, that they have let them come in to begin with. Folks, follow the money trail that normally will tell you who's calling the shots, right? And for those out there that think QAnon is some kind of a cult, good grief. Come on now. QAnon stands for peace, fairness, equal justice, and kindness. We'll know who it is soon enough. But they would never protest and hurt people. So why that mainstream media is lying about them, I don't know, but I guess that's a silly question. And now, why would Antifa thugs impersonate QAnon followers during protests with their MAGA hats and their Trump 2020 shirts? Maybe they know that millions of followers, maybe billions of followers are now on to everything the leftists, have been doing to hurt America, and they are trying to make QAnon look bad. The people who you have believed in the past do not deserve our respect. They, the leftists, care not for America or the American people. Their goal and bottom line is to destroy America, partner with China, and have China rule the world. This is not a game. This is not make-believe, and this is not a conspiracy theory. This is the most genuine threat to our freedom and livelihood we have ever been in, and it's happening on American soil right now. We stand at a huge crossroads right now. This will be the biggest presidential election in our lives. We are voting for freedom, not oppression, for love, not hate, for a wonderful future of living large, not stay inside, shut up, and take the vaccine. I was a Dem, as I said before, but 3 months into Trump's election, I changed my mind when the D facts did not line up. If the news or information feels wrong, pay attention to that feeling. It's most likely wrong, and your intuition is trying to tell you that. When I first started to put the pieces together, it was hard to process all this. I fought it for a while, and then more and more it made sense, and I had to do research and more research, and finally I could connect all the dots. And to my horror, our country, our world, has been run by Luciferian satanic monsters who do horrible things to children around the world. It's just mind-blowing. Combine all that child and sex trafficking and adult sex trafficking that goes on with the billions and billions of dollars they make by killing our people with horrific illegal drugs and guns. It's hard to take. It's hard to believe, I know. But to do these things, they have to literally own people. Lawyers, judges, cops, anyone that would impede their wrongdoings. And they do this with blackmail, allegedly. Hence all the spying on everyone and their brother. It is their favorite thing to do, in my opinion. But can you see why the hatred is so huge, and why they don't want you to find out what they've really been doing? Because that will be the end of the cabal. That will be the end of their money sources, the end of abusing and killing babies and children, the end of their way of life, the end of their evil control, the end of China's wish to be the world power. So I guess it would be logical to throw everything you've got at us, at the president, at the people of our planet. They don't care about us as a species. Agenda 2021 and Agenda 2030 will explain that. Also the Georgia Guidestones. All of these things have to do with depopulation. Huge depopulation of our planet. Think about that for a moment. Quote, when tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. So let me sum up this long paragraph. The leftists, Dems, Luciferians in charge are going to keep us hating each other in any way they can. There is no common ground with them. But as I said before, I believe most Dems are decent people, and I know in their hearts they must feel something is wrong. We are all Americans, not Democrats or Republicans, not right side or left side. We are people, just people. We must come together as a collective, united people. Quote, words have the power to both destroy and heal. When words are both true and kind, they can change our world. So we have to watch what we say and where we go just to stay safe. We have to not feed into the hatred that is spread by lies every day, and we must find common ground with our neighbors without being silenced. But most of all, we must raise our consciousness and evolve into the wonderful beings we are meant to be. Quote, humanity is now faced with a stark choice, evolve or die. If the structures of the human mind remain unchanged, we will always end up recreating the same world, the same evils, and the same dysfunction. Humanity must evolve. Our true nature is loving, caring, and sharing, and helping others less fortunate, not to reap some kind of reward, but because it's the right thing to do. The purpose for life and why we are here, in my humble opinion, is simply, we are here to experience, and we are here to be of service to others. Maybe life is like Groundhog Day. We keep coming back until we get it right. Well, take what you will and leave the rest. But I believe that's what God has in mind. Help your neighbor, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. This is what is called the Great Awakening in the Bible, and it's about people realizing that they are more than just their physical bodies. We are spiritual beings, and people will wake up to this fact, as well as the fact of who and what has really been running our country. The words wake up are said all the time nowadays. So as long as the right person stays in office, well, he is, in my opinion, here on this planet at this time to take down the Luciferian cult cabal, to save the children, and to show the world we can have peace, prosperity, and happiness on our planet. He's here to turn dark to light, as I believe anyone that is listening to this is meant to do. So that is why I've been teaching staying present. When you quiet your mind, you open yourself up to a higher consciousness. This is our natural state of being. You can stop psychic attacks and negativity just by staying present. With every day, we face a new challenge that will test us, so don't get dragged into nonsense. You do have a choice, remember. Be kind, be present, be helpful to others. We as a collective human race can do this. We can put our differences aside and rise up to a new level, a new dimension, so we can get out of this awful third dimension and fly right through the fourth into the fifth dimension. Hey, that's a great name for a band. Our golden age is coming, but if we don't do our part and evolve, if we continue to fight each other, we won't see it. So do your due diligence. Research for yourself. The news is fake, folks. It's no joke. And still, when I try to tell people that, I feel like I'm hitting my head against the wall, or trying to convince my parents that one of my 3 brothers punched me when they didn't see it. We've all been there. It's sad, it's scary, and it's wrong. So let's conclude this video. Don't let a difference of opinion silence you. Speak your truths. Help America, help our president. But because of the explosive times we found ourselves in, and for your own safety, please take care when going places, talking to folks, and using media outlets. Use common sense, times 10, and walks away when needed. But most of all, quiet you daily. Breathe and work on finding that peaceful existence that only the present can bring, where negativity, stress, and worry cannot live. It's time, folks. The Great Awakening is happening as I speak, and our golden age is just within reach. But we must slay the dragon, take back our nation, our families, and our God. Our future is uncertain, with many possible scenarios, but the only outcome that we can strive and hope for is freedom. Quote, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." Thanks, everybody. Stay present and stay safe, my friends.